Hi, this is Alex with YayFinder, and I am back taking over Decatur Book Festival social media feed all day today. And I'm so excited to be talking about the Teen Writing Challenge that we're kicking off starting today. It's for teens between the ages of 13 and 17 that they will be able to participate and submit their work at the end for a chance to TL Live, which is awesome. And they'll also receive exclusive videos throughout the process from authors, giving them tips. Authors like Kimberly.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Am I frozen?
I think you're a little frozen, yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's thinking. You know, these things, technology.
These dag-nabbit devices.
Yes. Shoot. Well, I wonder if it'll restart. If we should just keep, kicked Kimberly off. She'll come right back, I'm sure. So anyways, I am going to be joined by great Kimberly, and who is one of our YA authors participating in the Teen Writing Challenge.
Okay.
Yes, you're back.
I'm back.
Yes.
And I'm not frozen.
Not frozen. So how are you doing?
I'm doing grand. How are you?
Pretty good. I've missed book club the last couple months.
That's okay.
A little bit about the book club too?
Yes, so I run the Atlanta chapter of the Well-Read Black Girl Book Club. They put out a call about a year ago to independent bookstores saying that they wanted to, and they were partnering with the ABA, with the American Booksellers Association, saying that they wanted to partner with bookstores to, create branches of the Well-Read Black Girl Book Club, so that, because people were doing it online, and they were, the DC branch, which is where the founder, Glory, is, had such a large following, and people were wanting to be involved around the country. And so this was a great way to do it. And so I used to be the store manager at Little Shop of Stories, and the owner, Dave, reached out to me and was like, hey, would you be interested in running Well-Read Black Girl? And I was like, that's a no-brainer, duh, yeah. And so we just reached our 1-year anniversary of the Atlanta branch of Well-Read Black Girls. So it's been going very well. We've read some amazing, new stuff. And, I try to mix it up with like YA and classics and introduce new authors. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to get back with it and get back over there. Or
maybe after the Great Plague of 2020.
Yes. So what are you reading now? Or do you have a chance to read anything lately?
I do. Right now, I'm doing a lot of beta reading. So a lot of my friends are sending me their manuscripts so that I can read them over the quarantine and give them feedback. Like Vanya from YATL has a script for her new graphic novel, so I've been reading that. I am beta reading the new David Arnold book. David sent me that. And my really good friend, Jessie Esparza, who also works for YATL, she's next up. So I'm finishing David's book, and then I'm on to Vanya's script, and then I'm going to be reading Jessie's book. So I'm not reading a lot of the stuff that I've been like panic ordering online from indie bookstores, but I am doing a lot of beta reading right now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So should people send you any manuscripts they're interested in? No, I'm kidding.
If they're short, sure. If they're like, graphic novel scripts and stuff that are like super short, sure, I'll squeeze it in there. I can't promise I can get a full manuscript done on the list right now. So,
well, let's talk about your book too. I'm Not Dying With You Tonight. So can you what it's about and where the idea for the partnership came from in terms of?
So I'm Not Dying With You Tonight is a dual narrative told from two girls' perspectives, one African-American and one Caucasian female. And it's two girls who survived the night in a series of race riots. And the idea came from the fact that my co-author, Geely, saw a news clip after the murder of Freddie Gray in Baltimore. There was this really quick blip in the news about a group of high school kids who got trapped behind a barricade. They knew that there were going to be, they knew that people had been planning protests in the city, and they did like two really stupid things, which is they shut down public transportation, and most high schoolers in Baltimore take public transportation. They shut down public transportation, and then they closed down schools early and told students to disperse, but then they had no way to get home. And so Geely saw this news clip, and there was never any circle back to it. There was never any like, what happened to those kids? And we're both moms. And so she brought this idea to me of like, I wonder what happened to those kids. And so this is a way we process and examine what will potentially happen in the midst of severe race riots. Because kids are like, we see all of this stuff on the news and kids are living it too. No one's just having conversations with them about it. And like a quick sidebar, I was at a conference in Chicago, the Anderson's YA conference, and a teacher, I still get like all misty, so sorry if I started crying and stuff. I still got all misty about it because a teacher from Ferguson stood up on me and Geely's panel and said that he had never had a book that he could utilize for the kids to process what happened in Ferguson until I'm Not Dying With You Tonight, because those kids were like middle schoolers when it happened, and now they were in high school, and they had never dealt with what that looks like for them. So yeah, it's like kids are living these situations, but people are just not having conversations with them about it.
And that's so powerful. That how do you take something that happened like that and give people basically a tool to process, your point. Because we don't talk to a lot of kids and teens about what's going on in their lives and what's going on here and the impact, in terms of how they're feeling. So did you also feel particularly drawn to like that YA perspective? I mean, do you feel like your next book is also going to be same targeted, age group, or how do you think about that?
Yeah, so when Geely and I negotiated our deal with Sourcebooks, it was a 2-book deal. So we have a second book that is coming from Sourcebooks, which we're super excited about, which also has a social justice narrative as well. I can give you a sneak peek. Yes, sneak peek. We won't tell. Don't tell anybody except for all the people in this live. It is also dual narrative, and it is also about it is also told in the perspective of two girls, one Black and one white, and it is about two girls who take a knee at their high school football game and the fallout from it, and how one receives more punishment than the other.
I wonder which one.
Yeah. Curious.
Oh, okay, that's incredible. When will that come out?
We don't have a release date yet. Originally, it was supposed to come out 2020, but we were so delayed in turning it in. So we haven't received a release date yet. We're thinking maybe 2021, but they haven't given us a definitive answer yet. But to further answer your questions, no, I never saw myself really as a YA writer. Geely is definitely had her sights set on being a YA writer. I always saw myself more as a picture book writer. So at the time in which we started shopping I'm Not Dying With You Tonight, I had a picture book that I was querying at the time. And honestly, I've, been having some conversations with my editor and my agent, and I think probably what's going to happen after the second book with Geely is that I'm going to return to picture books, but I'm going to be doing historical nonfiction picture books.
Yeah. Any periods of time that you're already thinking about that you can give us another?
They vary in time. There's one particular story. This one I probably am going to get in trouble for saying something, but like, oh well. One of the stories that I'm working on is a story about the first Black female firefighter in Chicago. The interesting thing is, you would think I would be talking about like 1955 or something, right? No, she became a firefighter in 2012.
Wow.
No, I'm sorry, 2016. She became a firefighter in 2016. After a 20-year lawsuit with Chicago Fire.
That is fascinating. I feel like we could have a whole talk on sort of barriers into that and just the whole sort of firefighting brotherhood or you know, what that was like, probably, you know, her experience and that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it'll vary. I have lots of ideas that are all over the place from like the 1800s all the way up until now, but I'm thinking that's the direction I'm going in after my second YA, that I'm going to be focusing my energy on my historical nonfiction picture books.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Is there a passage that you'd like to read to us today?
Sure. So here is the book. If you guys haven't seen it, I'm Not Dying With You Tonight. I'll have to DM you a picture of my French cover. I got my French cover and it is gorgeous. I absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. So this section, this is like in the first chapter. This is Lena has made plans to, the character that I predominantly wrote, Lena, has made plans to go to a football game, and she's trying to weasel her way into doing it with her grandfather. And Pops is like he's like my favorite character in the book. So I just wanted to read something. And so this is, she walks into the kitchen for a snack, and then Pops addresses her. "What you doing?" Pops asks, not looking up from the sink as he washes the plates. "I have no idea why my grandfather won't use the dishwasher. I refuse to hand wash dishes. My nails too delicious to be ruined by palm olive. Just making a snack before I get ready for the game," I sighed. Black usually leaves me in the most amazing mood, except for when he plays like he can't, be bothered, or his Hansel leaving me crumbs. "Who's got you down in the mouth?" "Pops, you ain't even looked at me." "Don't need to. I can hear it. I reckon it's because of that little knucklehead you just got out of the car with." "Pops, I didn't," he interrupts. "Go to Lion, and the only game you gonna see tonight is Wheel of Fortune on the Game Show Network. If you had a nice boy, there would never be a need to lie." "No, if you gave him a chance, I'd never have to lie. If I said that out loud, he'd pop me in the mouth. Am I excused? Go on, little liar on the prairie." I don't care what Pop says as long as he don't say I can't go to the game. I'm gonna try to hook up with Black later. I think tonight can end better than we just left in the car. It's just like this terrible, awful boyfriend.
Did you feel like writing with another author from these two different perspectives? At the end of it, when you read, well, I don't know what your writing process was like, if you were reading her, elements all along, but did you find that each of you saw a different perspective in what the other one wrote that you hadn't already thought of before, or?
Yeah, we definitely, Geely and I are like, we are like the characters in the sense that we come from two completely different worlds. Like, I grew up on the south side of Chicago, and she grew up in Tampa, Florida. I mean, the obvious thing is I'm Black and she's white. But there were just like lots of other, cultural differences between us. She's Jewish. There was like all of this stuff that's very, very, very different about us. And so our life experience, which obviously affects the way we view things and see things, were very different. And we had to have a lot of really hard conversations. And we had to have a lot of really honest conversations. And there were times like, it wasn't all like, rainbows and unicorns. There were times when we'd say, I need a day from you. Like, I need to take a break from this conversation. We created a safe word that was like, okay, I'm going to say this word. And after I say this word, whatever I'm about to say is probably going to be ignorant. I would never intentionally do you any harm. And I would never intentionally mean to insult you, but I just don't understand this point. Or I need to ask a question that's an uncomfortable question for me to ask. And we had to have that level of honesty in order to properly do the book justice. And we, for the most part, we wrote side by side. We found that we worked better because the girls are so, they're so integral to each other. Like, they're in each other's chapters throughout the entire process. So just in terms of keeping consistency in voice and like cultural markers and things like that, we wrote side by side. And so that was our writing process, which, for a lot of people, they're like, what? So it did take us a little longer to write the book because we had to manage our schedules to actually be together. It took us 2 years to write the book.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah.
I also like how you said that you all created that safe word so that you had that safe place, because I do think it's something that, especially with how polarized everything is in this country right now, that or in this world, right now, that people, growing up, people say never talk about politics and religion, except I think we do need to talk about those things. We just need to be taught the way to talk about them. It's not that they're taboo. It's that we do need to talk about them and have a better understanding of where people are coming from.
Yeah, and Gili likes to say that what we created was not necessarily a safe space, but a brave space. Just to give us both, the courage to go ahead and have these like difficult conversations. And we'd like to think, and we hope that that is what our book is doing for the world, is that it's giving people, we're hoping that our book is giving people a tool that they can utilize to have the difficult conversations, that we're giving teachers a tool that they can give to their students so they can have difficult conversations. We did 2 national tours this year, and particularly when we were in the heartland of America, when we were in the Midwest, a lot of times what we would get from teachers is they would say, I have students who are not African American who are having a difficult time having these conversations about race relations in America. And I was able to utilize your book as a tool for them to see themselves and have these conversations. And there were, a lot of students were saying that there were moments with Campbell of just, just her ignorance of the community, that these kids recognize that in themselves. And so they had these conversations in school where they wanted to course correct their own implicit bias. So we're hoping that that's what the book is doing, is giving people a space to have the tough conversations.
It's so critically important. So my background, I'm actually my mom is Black, grew up in a small town in Illinois, and then my dad is Russian and Jewish, and so in my family we just always felt really comfortable having these conversations about race and sort of my experience versus my mother's experience versus my dad's experience, and I do think I love that term, and I'm going to really remember that, brave space, because we need more of it.
For sure.
Yeah, especially because lives are literally on the line. So it's critically important.
Yes, definitely.
Well, thank you for participating in the team writing.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Yes, and stay safe.
I will. You stay safe, and I'll see you soon.
Yes, see you soon. And one more plug for the Teen Writing Challenge. You can go to YayFinder.com, and teens between 13 and 17 can sign up. And they will see a really awesome video from Kimberly, where she is, all the authors are sharing about an element of their writing process, writing advice. And so you'll see that from Kimberly too. So
yes, I'm super excited about it. And thank you for asking me to participate in it.
Oh, thank you, of course. We'll talk soon.
You too. Stay safe. Bye.
Bye.